oyster shells into Charlotte Harbor today to help boost water quality and help our fish and anglers.
Florida dropped 500,000 tons of oyster shells into the ocean, and something unexpected grew. This massive pile of shells was supposed to be a simple foundation for a few oysters. But here is the catch. The growth was so fast and so dense that it left researchers speechless.
The shells act as a natural filter to get toxins out of the ecosystem.
Many are not seeing the truth here because this was more than just a biology project. It was a total takeover of the seafloor by a force of nature that refused to wait for permission. What started as a waste disposal plan turned into the greatest underwater mystery of the decade. Giant shell drop success. Florida has a long history with the ocean, and its coastal waters have always relied on oyster reefs as a foundation for life. These oysters are known as keystone organisms. This means they are the glue that holds the entire ecosystem together. One single adult oyster can filter up to 50 gallons of water every single day. They remove nutrients, sediment, and pollutants while building large three-dimensional structures. These reefs act as natural walls that protect the land from big storms and rising sea levels. For a long time, Florida was the oyster capital of the world. But then things took a dark turn. Overfishing, dredging, and pollution caused the reefs to vanish. Some areas lost 88% of their reefs in just a few decades. Large parts of the Gulf of Mexico became dead zones where nothing could grow. This was a total disaster for the local economy and the environment. Basically, the seafloor was becoming a desert. People realized they had to do something big to fix it. That is when the plan to drop 500,000 tons of shells began. They collected shells from restaurants and seafood processors all across the state. These shells had to be cleaned and cured for months under the hot sun to make sure no bad bacteria went back into the water. Once they were ready, massive barges moved the shells out into the estuaries. They targeted spots near Cedar Key, Pensacola Bay, and the Big Bend region. The goal was simple: provide a place for baby oysters to land. These tiny larvae are called spat, and they need a hard surface to survive. Without those shells, the baby oysters would just sink into the mud and die. For starters, everyone expected this to be a very slow process. Scientists predicted it would take at least 3 years to see anything meaningful happen on the seafloor, but that is not what happened at all. The reaction from the ocean was almost instant and much more powerful than any computer model had suggested. The underwater desert was about to vanish, but no one knew how fast. Invisible calcium power. As soon as those 500,000 tons of shells hit the bottom, the ocean started to change in a way that defied logic. Within just a few months, divers went down to check the sites and found something incredible. The oyster spat were not just settling, they were covering every inch of the new shells. This was an explosion of life that happened at a speed no one was prepared for. What most people do not realize is that the shells themselves act like a chemical fertilizer. Oyster shells are made of calcium, and as they sit in the water, they release calcium ions. This makes the water around the reef more alkaline, which helps other creatures grow their own shells even faster. It was like a giant boost for the entire neighborhood. Soon, it was not just oysters. Barnacles, tube worms, and tiny crabs started to build their homes on the new reef. This created a thick biofilm that acted like a dinner bell for the rest of the ocean. Small fish started to hide in the cracks of the three-dimensional structures. Then, larger predators like snapper and grouper showed up to hunt. The biodiversity in these restored areas became 10 to 20 times higher than the surrounding seafloor. And get this, the growth was so dense that the reefs became solid much faster than natural reefs usually do. Even when big hurricanes hit the coast, these new reefs stayed put. They actually got stronger as more shells piled up. The matrix of the reef became a resilient shield for the shoreline. This was a massive win for everyone involved. But here is the catch: while the scientists were celebrating, other people were starting to get suspicious. They wondered if there was more to this story than just saving a few oysters. Some people started looking at the massive scale of the operation and thinking about hidden agendas. Something else was stirring in the deep that the scientists were not mentioning. Habitat transformation. Whenever the government drops 500,000 tons of anything into the ocean, rumors are going to fly. There are still many rumors in the air about what is really happening beneath the waves. While most see a successful environment project, others are not seeing the truth here. Some people claim that these massive shell drops are actually a cover for secret underwater infrastructure. They suggest that the government might be building hidden bases or testing new military sensors disguised as reefs. Others think this is a form of secret geoengineering. By changing the shape of the seafloor, you can actually influence how ocean currents move and how much carbon the ocean can soak up. There is a lot of talk about how these reefs might be used for large-scale surveillance of shipping lanes. Fringe voices even suggest that the rapid growth is not natural. They believe the shells might be treated with engineered microbes or secret chemicals to supercharge the reefs. In some of the more wild corners of the internet, people think these calcium-rich shells are being placed along ancient energy lines to reactivate dormant marine forces. It sounds like a movie plot, but the obsession with these theories is real. Some skeptics argue that this is all just greenwashing. They think the state is only building reefs so they can keep developing the coastline without worrying about erosion. They say it is a way to give people a feel-good story while the real problems are ignored. One of the most overlooked aspects is how these new reefs might change where fish migrate. If you build a massive new city in the middle of the ocean, you are going to change the behavior of every animal in the area. Some worry that this is an ecological gamble that could go wrong if an invasive species takes over. But despite all the crazy talk, the evidence on the ground shows a different reality. The mystery is less about secrets and more about how amazing nature can be when given a chance. The true secret of the reefs was hiding in plain sight all along, turning trash into life. The rapid transformation of coastal management through the Oyster Shell program represents a fundamental shift in how industrial societies perceive and process organic byproducts. For decades, the logic of waste management dictated that oyster shells were a nuisance, a sharp and bulky residue of the seafood industry destined for the anaerobic silence of inland landfills. We spent millions of dollars transporting these calcium carbonate structures to sites where they served no ecological function, effectively removing vital minerals from the marine cycle and locking them in terrestrial vaults. This linear progression from extraction to disposal was not merely inefficient. It was a structural failure to understand the thermodynamic requirements of the coastline. The success of the current program has dismantled this paradigm, proving that the most effective solutions for coastal erosion do not require the high carbon footprint of concrete or the rigid, brittle nature of steel. Nature operates through fluid, self-correcting systems, and by returning these shells to the water, we have provided the physical substrate necessary for those systems to reboot. The reefs established by this program function as self-reinforcing loops of biological and geological activity. Unlike a seawall, which begins to degrade the moment it is finished, an oyster reef grows in response to its environment. As individual oysters reach the end of their life cycles, their shells remain, providing a permanent foundation for the next generation of larvae to settle. This vertical accretion is the only mechanism humans currently possess that can naturally outpace the projected rate of sea level rise. While a concrete barrier is a static response to a dynamic problem, the reef is a living technology that adjusts its density and height based on the specific hydrodynamics of the shore. This project has demonstrated that when human intervention provides the initial seed material, the ecosystem regains the agency to defend itself. Beyond the immediate practical benefits, the scale of this biological resurgence has sparked several wild theories among the scientific community. Some researchers suggest that these reefs are functioning as more than just physical barriers. There is an emerging hypothesis that the massive accumulation of calcium carbonate acts as a biological antenna, or a piezoelectric buffer, as the weight of the tides presses down on millions of tons of shells. It may generate subtle electrical currents that influence the behavior of marine microbes or even help stabilize the local pH levels of the water during acidification events. Another theory posits that the specific geometric complexity of the reef acts as a massive acoustic archive. The underwater soundscape is not just a chaotic byproduct of life, it is a data stream. The snapping of shrimp and the rhythmic movement of fish within these structures create a low-frequency hum that some theorists believe acts as a long-distance navigational beacon for deep-sea species. We might be inadvertently broadcasting a signal to the open ocean that the coastal nurseries are once again functional, potentially triggering migration patterns that haven't been seen in centuries. Furthermore, there is a growing debate regarding the impact of these reefs on the tectonic shelf itself. While it sounds improbable, the localized weight of these massive, sprawling reef systems could theoretically dampen the seismic vibrations of the shoreline. Unlike rigid concrete, which transfers energy directly to the ground, the porous and layered nature of a shell reef acts as a giant shock absorber. In this view, we aren't just building a wall, we are creating a biological cushion for the entire continental edge. Some evolutionary biologists even argue that the density of life within these new reefs is so extreme that it is forcing a process of accelerated evolution. Species are being pushed to adapt to the hyper-competitive, high-nutrient environment at a rate that defies standard models, potentially leading to the emergence of new subspecies specifically adapted to human-engineered biological reefs. Despite these speculative leaps, the physical reality remains undeniable. The seafloor, once a barren expanse of silt and waste, is now a vibrating hub of activity. The transition happened with a speed that caught even the most optimistic ecologists off guard, suggesting that the environment was in a state of latent readiness, simply waiting for the right structural catalyst to trigger a recovery. We are now in a race against time to maximize this momentum. The question is no longer whether nature can heal itself, but whether we can supply enough raw material to match the scale of the global environmental crisis. Every ton of shells that goes into a landfill is a lost opportunity to strengthen the Earth's immune system. We are currently observing a fundamental shift in the relationship between human industry and the natural world, where waste is no longer the end of a story, but the beginning of a new, more resilient chapter for the planet. The reefs are speaking to us through the sound of the water and the growth of the tide. The only uncertainty is whether we will listen closely enough to provide the foundation they require. The ocean has a way of surprising us when we finally decide to help. Everything you have seen today shows that humans and nature can work together if we are smart about it. We took 500,000 tons of trash and turned it into a miracle. Do you think these new reefs are truly natural, or is there a hidden hand at play? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please like and subscribe for more.